Okay, so this vlog is very impromptu. I was doing some reading sprints on my channel, and a lot of people were saying how much they miss my vlogs, and I was like, you know what, I miss doing vlogs too. I'm gonna vlog me reading an Ember and Ashes because a From Blood and Ash is one of my favorite books of last year. I liked and I love Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Crown of Gilded Bones, I gave it 2 stars. I don't know, like, I don't know, I am not a series person. I am like a standalone person. I still read series because I love reading so much. And so my problem with series is that I just need them to be concise. Like, I don't need you to be doing all this, like, like basically with Jennifer Armentrout, I feel like she's trying to make these books tomes for the sake of being tomes, and she's not really, like, these books don't necessarily need to be that long, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not, like, yeah, she does a lot of world building, but like A Crown of Gilded Bones did not need to be there. Like, it did not, it's not even a filler book. Like, it did not need to be there. A lot of the same jokes have been getting used since the first book. A lot of like the same lines, like about how beautiful Hawk is, has been getting used since the first book, and this and that since the first book. And it's like at one point it just gets really repetitive, and so basically that's where I get annoyed with series, is where they start to get repetitive. And this is going to be a 6-book series. So originally I was not going to read this book because I was like, oh, I'm kind of tired of Jennifer Armentrout. But then I was like, no, this is all the new characters. Before A Crown of Gilded Bones came out, I was like, oh, Nikto seems so interesting. And then Crown of Gilded Bones came out, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna read that book because, like, I just feel like Jennifer Armentrout is dragging it. But I decided to read the book anyways because I was just curious, and I still have a love for Jennifer Armentrout. Like, I'm probably still gonna read the rest of the series, I'm not gonna lie, at least book 4. And then if I don't, basically if I don't like book 4, I'm not continuing on with the series. If I love it, I'll continue. So that's that. But I started reading this book and I was like, I love it. I'm only 100 pages into the book. I love it. I love Sarah and Niktos. I feel like I like them a lot better than I like Poppy and Hawk. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love Sarah and Niktos dynamics so much. And Sarah kind of does remind me of Poppy a little bit. Like, they kind of are the same characters, but not really to the point where it's like, oh, I'm trying to watch the same character over and over. Like, it's definitely not that. Like, I don't feel like they're the exact same character. I think they share a lot of similarities, and that isn't really bothering me. And I think it's because I like Niktos as a character so much. This book is making me realize that I did not care about Hawk. Like, in the first book, obviously as it went on, I did care about him because we got more of a backstory, but I kind of care about Niktos, and I like it, this book being from the perspective of a god, especially because this is going to be like Hades and Persephone without like the kidnapping thing. So I really like reading a book about gods falling in love. If anybody has any recommendations, not a Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I will take them. I realize that I am in love with like gods, especially because I love Greek mythology so much. Like, book is so up my alley. So I bought the hardcover from Barnes & Noble because they're $30, so I'm not gonna spend my money on them unless I know that I like these, you know, books. So for right now, I mean, I'm pretty much gonna love the rest of the book. So basically the book starts off and Seraphina is a maiden, and she is set to like she's set to do something in the beginning, and she messes up. So then after the first chapter, I think the first chapter, it follows 3 years later, her family's kind of mad at her, and then she witnesses these guys killing this baby, and she's like, oh, heck no. So like now she's going to hunt them down, and then she comes across Niktos, and Niktos is like, you know, he's like, you have to be more quiet. If you go out there, you're gonna get yourself killed. And she's like, I don't care, like, did you see they just killed this baby? And so I actually kind of like this book because there's a little bit of a mystery going on, because, you know, once you meet Niktos, he's like, yeah, actually I've been trying to figure out what's going on too, because they've been killing a lot of people over the past, like, what, 4 months. So you have this mystery of like, okay, why are these guys killing these babies? And or not babies, they're killing people. Not, this was the first time they killed babies. So they killed 2 women and 2 men. And I think this was the first kid they killed. They said they killed 7 people though. So I don't really know the math there. But yeah, so it's like a mystery of like, okay, well, why are these guys doing this then? And I just find gods like so intriguing. So I'm having fun. I'm probably going to finish this book by tomorrow night. I might even finish it. I'm probably gonna finish the book by tomorrow morning, maybe even tonight, because I have to get started on reading Dune. I really want to read it before the movie comes out this Friday. Yeah, this is I guess it's like a surprise vlog. Me and my brother carved pumpkins today, so I feel like very like October-y. So this book is gonna help like with the whole like vampire gods. Ugh, I'm eating this book up. I'm totally eating this book up.
If it takes too long to hit me back, I can promise you how I react, but all I can say is at least I'll wait for you. Lately I've been on a roller coaster, trying to get a hold of my emotions, but all that I know is that I need you close, and I'ma scream and shout for what I love. Passionate but I don't give no fucks. I admit that I'm a little messed up, but I can hide it when I'm all dressed up. I'm obsessed about a love too hard, good at overthinking with my heart. How you even think you got this far, this far? And I can be needy, way too damn needy.
I am about 200 pages into the book, so that is, well, roughly 200 pages into the book, so that is 30%. And it's like, I feel like this book is going down the longer I read it. Like, I don't hate it or anything. I just feel like this series is unnecessarily long. Like, all of Jennifer Armentrout's other books are very much like the right size for a book, and I feel like she's overly descriptive, and I literally feel like she's just trying to like make this series longer, or make these books like long books. It really don't need to be like, you know, like it really does not need to be this long. And I feel like some scenes, but I don't mind reading it at the same time. And it's like some scenes are, I'm just like, well, how was that there? Like, there is a scene where she had to go get this kid. She had to go pretend. Okay, so there was this guy, and he had a son and a daughter, and they were both, the son and the daughter were both separated. So the dad had the son, but the daughter was like away, and like the dad was like a really bad person. So they went to go rescue the son. So she had to like dress up and pretend like she wanted to like be one of, basically he was a pimp, and she was gonna be one of his girls. So she had to pretend like that, and then she like killed him, and then she like saved the boy and took him to his sister. And it's like, why was that there? Like, hopefully that comes into play in the like the end of the book or at some point. And I'm not saying that books need to have like every single part is important, but I just hope that like you get that it just seems like she just put stuff in because she's like, I need this book to be 600 pages, let me write some stuff. Same with her descriptions. I feel like some of her descriptions are just so unnecessarily long, and I've read some of her other books and I know she's not that much of a descriptive writer, so it just feels like she was trying to like expand her word count basically. And also the part, in the part I'm at the part, I just got off the part where they were like, she was like in the lake naked and she hurt someone and ended up being Niktos, and they were like, you know, having banter, whatever. It was a little steamy scene, which I do appreciate, because I was sitting there like, okay girl, like you're being a tease, like you're not giving us any steamy stuff. So it was, I'm not even gonna say steamy because really nothing happened. It was just like a makeout scene, but it was like a makeout scene where like not the same as the one in the beginning, where that one was kind of like, oh, like we need this to happen so we can hide. And also he has her calling him Ash, which I'm like, I don't get why that's happening. Also, if you're watching this video, I really hope that you've read From Blood and Ash, because I feel like it's gonna be spoilers for that. That being said, I'm gonna spoil From Blood and Ash. Yeah, so I feel like she's doing the same thing she did with like Hawk and Castile and like From Blood and Ash. Like, I don't think it's gonna, it's not gonna be like a plot twist because we know who he is. So it's like, why is she have him going? I just hope it, I don't know how to put it into words, because I don't think it's going to be the same thing where it's like, ooh, a big plot twist, because we know that who he is. But also it's like she's kind of doing the same thing that she did in the first book. Like, she's having him have a different name and blah blah blah, and it doesn't feel like it's the exact same story like copied, but it just feels like some things from the first story. It's just she feels repetitive, you know. But I am very interested in the book, and I'm very interested in the relationship, and I am very interested in the world. I really am interested in the world. Like, Jennifer Armstrong really has like great writing for that, I will admit. Like I think even like when From Blood and Ash ends and like the series ends, like if she made another series, I would probably read that, like a series in this world. I would probably read that just because I find this world so intriguing, and she's very good at that, and she's very good at world building. I personally don't mind her world building. A lot of people complain that it's like very long and boring. I personally do not mind her world building because she's so good at it. So I think that's all I have, like, on my complaints. It's like I'm enjoying it. I'm having a fun time. Like, it's a 4-star read, and I love them as a couple. I will say she keeps having him say some really corny stuff, and I know it's supposed to be like, ugh, so the girls can swoon and be like, oh my god, he's so sweet. But it's like, for me, I don't really like all of that corny stuff. Like, I don't like for like the male love interest to be saying like corny stuff. Like, he's like, you taste like the sun. And she's like, well, what does the sun taste like? And he's like, you. And I'm like, ugh. Or like, he's like, you're as beautiful as sunlight. And it's like, this is corny. Make it stop. I'm not the kind of girl who likes stuff like that. Like, if I think if a guy said stuff like that to me, I would immediately get the ick. But that's just me. Some girls might be eating that up. Like, it is a few lines like that, but I also think that their banter is so good that, like, and once he says a corny line like that, they get like this good banter, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm over it, you know. Like, it's not bothering me. It's just like, it would give me the ick personally. But if you like that, I get it, I understand, you know. But I also feel like even if I was the kind of girl who was into like cutesy stuff like that, I still would be like, I don't know. But I am liking it. It's a 4-star read so far, so I'll either check in again page 300 pages or 400 pages, or whenever I decide to check in. I actually think I'm starting to get delirious now. You guys, I said I was not gonna update at 300 pages, but I just reached the 300 page mark. I'm going feral. Nyktos is my new king. He's my new man. Hawk, who is he? Like, when I read From Blood and Ash, I loved Hawk, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, he's my new book boyfriend. I don't have like book boyfriends very often. When I have a book boyfriend, you know that is a man. Nyktos is my new book boyfriend. I need a second. Because the scene that I just read, you guys, so basically in this scene, what is his name? Travis, whatever her stepbrother name is, he basically like, he sneaks into her room at night and he takes the knife that she usually like always goes for. Why would you keep your dagger under your pillow, girl? I don't know, but whatever. So he takes that, and then he basically is like, you're gonna pay for everything you did to me, because he basically has a little fragile ego, and you know, whatever. So he like takes her, he has the guards taking her. Travis is now becoming king, and so he takes her into the basement and he's like whipping her. He has her tied up on her knees and he's just like violating her. And then Nyktos, he comes out of nowhere, like, and I kind of get why she called him Ash, because it kind of like, it was playing into like, Jennifer Armstrong is so corny, but like, I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, I see what she was trying to do. So essentially what she was trying to do was, she wasn't calling him Ash up until a certain point, because she wanted to have like this grand like entrance kind of thing for like his name. So basically he comes in, like all the guys like are summoned into this thing because they know that like they're doing something to her, and she's a maiden, so they're not supposed to be doing this to her. He comes in and he starts killing everybody. He starts killing everybody. It literally, the description, the girl said, yeah, he like basically ripped this man's throat out. He was just going in, okay? And it was just so good. And then he's about to kill Travis, and her mom, because okay, Travis is her stepbrother, and then there's Ezra, who's her stepsister, who's also, I believe she's lesbian. She could be bi or pan, but as of now I believe she's lesbian. And I love her. She's so good. She's like, anyways, back to Travis. I don't think that this man's name is not Travis, but I'm gonna keep calling him that. So the stepmom was like, no, please spare him. And his sister, the stepsister, his blood sister, is like, this is a terrible man. Like, kill him. And the stepmom was like, no, he's about to become king. And so I almost call her Poppy. Seraphina comes in, and she's like, please spare my brother. And he's like, you want to spare the life of a man that just tied you to your knees and tried to whip you? And she's like, yes. And he's like, fine, as you wish. And he's like talking to Travis, and he's like, I will spare your life now, but I will take your soul so that when you die we will be together for eternity. And then he goes, something to look forward to. It's crack that I can't even think of her name. Jennifer L. Armentrout puts it to her book, and it's literal crack. That's so good. I'm so glad I decided to vlog this, because this is going to be very entertaining to watch. This is going to be very entertaining to watch, as like, I can't even wait to edit this book. Hello besties. So it is 4 oh my god, it's 4 p.m. I woke up at 1 today. I'm now 500 pages into the book, and oh my gosh, I love it so much. Like around 400 pages is where the plot actually kicks in. And actually the plot has been there, but like the plot really gets going around 400 pages. So that's when the like Persephone and Hades loose retelling. She says it's a loose retelling, but they are literally Persephone and Hades. Like, she can literally bring people back from the dead. Well, she's like trying to figure that out. And he literally is the god of death, like, or the primal. I don't understand the god primal thing, because she refers to him as a god, but she refers to him as a primal sometimes. But gods and primals are two different things. Like, gods are like kind of like at the top, and then primals are kind of like both. I'm not really getting that. Maybe that's like my problem though. Yes, so I made it 500 pages, and we finally got like some smut. So finally, around chapter 31. Wow, Jennifer Armentrout really knows how to take her time. But I'm really loving the book. Like around like 400 pages where you learn about dragons, and I really love that. Like, they are basically like, you learn the history. A lot of people complain that Jennifer Armentrout is info dumpy, but I don't think that she is, because if you didn't have all this information, you would I just don't get the info dump complaint, because it's like, if you didn't have this information, then you would be confused. And the way that she has it is like, she introduces us to the world. So she has Sarah like asking all these questions, which Sarah kind of does remind me of Poppy in that way. Like, Poppy is always curious, always asking questions, and Sarah is low-key the exact same way. But I do understand, because she doesn't know anything about this world. But yeah, we learned about dragons and how they're like descendants of dragons, and how like a primal like kind of like blessed them with being able to turn into humans. And so now, or have a mortal form. So they can't have a mortal form, they just prefer the dragon form. And like, oh, the dragons are so cute, like the baby dragons, and they're like little dogs. That's not really a good thing, but it's like, this is what I've always wanted. Like, even though they're not technically dragons, they technically are, but all I've ever wanted was a book where like dragons are like in the book, and like you interact with the dragons, and like you like people like, I don't know, and I got what I wanted. Like, they have like baby dragons in the house, and like Sarah's like holding them and petting them and learning about them. And then they have the adult dragons, and you learn about their history. I'm not gonna lie, I think that if Jennifer Armentrout was to keep writing, I feel like Jennifer Armentrout, she should have stopped the From Blood and Ash series at book 3, because it doesn't need to be 6 books. Should have stopped it at book 3, then wrote the prequel, and then maybe she could write like a dragon story. Like, she really could write more stories in this world, and I would pick them up. I'm not gonna lie. Am I gonna finish From Blood and Ash? Who knows? I'm definitely gonna finish this series until I get tired of it. Hopefully she only writes like 3 books in this series. Yeah, I'm only gonna like read the series until I get tired of it. But she started putting she's really good at like first books in this series. I feel like her other series are probably really good because they're much shorter. Like, this book did not need to be like, it's 700 pages on my Kindle. It probably could have been like 400 pages, I'm not gonna lie. But I just can't express enough how like I loved From Blood and Ash and this first book, but as the series goes on, it just does not need to be as long as it is. And I feel like she's just doing that just so she, I don't want to say it's a cash grab, but I feel like she's trying to be like a Sarah J Maas, where Sarah J Maas has like these big long books, but Sarah J Maas, I can even say, has a purpose with doing that. Like these feel like unnecessary, and they feel like what is she gonna do for, I know this is a Shadow in the Ember vlog and I talk about From Blood and Ash a lot, but I'm just very curious because what the hell is she gonna do for 3 more books? Like the romance is already there, like there's really no more slow burn. I personally don't care for books when the couples get together, because I'm either reading the book because I like the male character or the female character, don't really care about them both together. So that's why I like slow burn, and I like when like the book is over after that. I do not care about them doing couple things, but a lot of people do, so that's just not for me. But you know, whatever fans are probably gonna be, her fans are probably gonna be very happy. I'm probably gonna keep reading them. I don't know, we'll have to see in the future. You'll just have to find out when the other books release, because I don't even know how I feel. But as of right now, I'm gonna read the next book, the next Blood and Ash book, to see if I want to continue on with that series. Okay, so I just finished A Shadow in the Ember, and I think I'll be giving it 4.5 stars. I did really enjoy the story, but I just feel like the dynamic between Nyktos and Sarah was very similar to the dynamic between Poppy and Hawk, and like the way that they like, it wasn't enemies to lovers or like hate to love. She was just like, I don't really like you, but like I like you, but I don't. It's more so of like oh, I like you, but I don't want to show my emotions and like fall in love with you, so like stay away from me. But like you're so hot, I can't stay away from you, so like don't stay away from me. That's the dynamic it gave. And also I feel like Poppy and Sarah were very similar, but Sarah is the OG maiden, so it makes sense as to why they're very similar. And like, but they were similar to certain points where like I said, the questions things, like how they both were very, very curious. But it didn't bother me. And I think the books in general are just very similar, but kind of in a way of like history repeating itself. But I still really had fun, and I think like I didn't mind that everything was similar because it wasn't exactly alike. But I felt like if she were to write another book in the story, if she did the same thing the 3rd time, then I would have to be like, okay, now you're repeating the same plot lines and characters and dynamics over and over again. But I don't think that she's gonna do a 3rd one, so I think that this one is almost just barely pushing it, but it worked for me. Like I love Nyktos so much that it worked for me. I love Sarah too, but I really, when I be shipping people, I mostly just ship the guy with me, you know. Like I don't, Sarah's cool, I love Sarah, but I love Nyktos. This book really made me love Nyktos so much. It brought like a new love for me. Like it got me a new book boyfriend. Hawk, like I said at the beginning, like when I first read Hawk, like I thought he was okay. I was like, oh yeah, he's fine, like he's cute or whatever. But Nyktos, that is a man. And I'm genuinely just interested in stories of like gods and things like that. And this is a prequel, so I'm very interested to see like how things go with the 4th book. And I am very interested to read the 4th book after reading this book, because I feel like things that happen in this book will need to be known for the 4th book. Also, like maybe we'll see Sarah in that book and more about their life, but not like too spoilery. So I'm very excited for the 2nd book. It'll probably say 5 stars on Goodreads, but typically like a 4.5 stars. I had a lot of fun reading this book. I do think that some things were like dragged out. Like this book was a lot longer than what it needed to be, and I got bored a lot during the book, but I didn't stay bored. That is one thing when I read big books, sometimes I'll get bored and I'll stay bored until the end. But with this book, I got bored and then something good would happen again. So I really do like Jennifer Armentrout for that, and I do appreciate her for that. So yeah, that is my review for the book. If you want to see me do the 2nd book when that comes out, let me know. If you want to see me do the 4th book in the From Blood and Ash series, let me know. I'm not gonna lie, I think Flesh and Fire is my favorite. I don't want to say it's my favorite because there's only 1 book, so we'll have to see like when the 2nd book comes out. But right now I prefer Flesh and Fire over From Blood and Ash. But I think that's just because I'm so tired of From Blood and Ash, and I'm so tired of the repetitiveness and things like that. But we'll just have you and me both will just have to stay tuned to see what I think. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you like the book. Let me know how you feel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.